Grandma, why do you always smell kind of funny? It was an innocent question, spoken without malice, just curiosity. But for Linda, 78, those words landed like a punch to the chest. She had always taken care of herself. She showered every morning, wore clean clothes, and kept a tidy home. Still, her granddaughter wrinkled her nose and leaned away during a hug. That night, Linda lay awake wondering where she had gone wrong. Let us be clear about something that very few people talk about, but almost everyone notices. That old person smell is not about being dirty. It is not about laziness or neglect. It is about biology. And more often than not, it is about small areas of the body that get missed during daily cleaning. Areas you would never think twice about until they quietly start changing how others experience being near you. Here is the good news. Once you know where those forgotten spots are and how to care for them properly, you can eliminate up to 99% of that lingering odor. You do not need expensive soaps or harsh scrubbing. You just need to understand your body and adjust how you care for it as it changes with age. In this video, we are going to walk through 7 often overlooked areas that may be quietly contributing to persistent body odor in older adults. By the end, you will know exactly what to do and why even the cleanest person might still struggle with smell unless they pay attention to these key zones. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Let's get into it. Now, let us begin with one of the most overlooked areas, one that almost no one thinks about, but can quietly cause odor, discomfort, and even embarrassment. The feet. More specifically, the spaces between your toes and the soles. Margaret Simmons, 79, always believed she was a clean person. She dressed well, kept her hair neatly done, and never missed her morning shower. But one summer afternoon, her young granddaughter wrapped her arms around Margaret's legs, then quickly pulled away with a wrinkled nose. "Grandma, your feet smell funny," she whispered. The moment stung. That evening, Margaret sat on the edge of her bed, removed her socks, and took a closer look. There it was, a faint sour smell coming from between her toes. It was not strong, but it was real, and it made her feel self-conscious in a way she never expected. The feet contain over 25,000 sweat glands, more than any other part of the body. And according to the Journal of the American Podiatric Medical Association, damp feet enclosed in shoes can harbor up to 1,000 types of bacteria per square centimeter, making them one of the most bacteria-prone parts of the body, if not dried thoroughly. That is 250,000 tiny moisture producers working all day long, especially inside socks and shoes that trap heat and block airflow. When sweat collects between the toes and along the soles, it creates a perfect environment for bacteria and fungus to grow. And those microorganisms produce odor, even in people who bathe regularly. The signs are subtle at first. Socks that still smell after washing, dry or peeling skin between the toes, yellowing toenails, or a mild itch that comes and goes. Many older adults chalk it up to age. In truth, it is often just an overlooked hygiene habit. The fix is simple, but it requires intention. Each day, wash your feet thoroughly with warm water and a gentle soap. Take an extra moment to get between the toes. After rinsing, dry the entire foot completely, especially those small spaces that often stay damp. Even the tiniest bit of leftover moisture can become a breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. If you tend to sweat more or live in a humid area, consider using a non-medicated foot powder or wearing moisture-wicking socks. Most importantly, do not wear the same pair of shoes 2 days in a row. Give each pair time to air out and dry properly between uses. Margaret made these small changes. She washed and dried her feet with care. She rotated her shoes. She stopped hiding her feet and even wore sandals again. And at the next family gathering, when her granddaughter curled up beside her, she leaned in without hesitation. The hug returned. So did Margaret's quiet confidence. Because sometimes dignity starts at the ground level, with how you care for the parts of yourself that no one else sees until it matters. Once you start paying attention to areas like the feet, you begin to realize something important. Odor is rarely about cleanliness. It is often about what gets overlooked. And one of the quietest culprits sits just inches from your face: the skin behind your ears. Frank Delgado, 76, was known in his Florida community for always looking sharp. He wore pressed shirts, polished shoes, and a signature splash of cologne each morning. He shaved daily, styled his hair, and never skipped a step in his routine. But during a recent family barbecue, his 11-year-old grandson leaned in for a hug, then pulled back slightly and wrinkled his nose. "Grandpa smells kind of weird," the boy whispered. The comment was not meant to be cruel, but Frank heard it, and it stayed with him. He went back over everything: his soap, his laundry detergent, even his aftershave. Nothing made sense. It was not until a visit to his barber that someone mentioned an often missed area: behind the ears. Here is what most people do not realize. The skin behind the ears is one of the oiliest places on the body. It contains a high concentration of sebaceous glands, which produce natural oils. These oils mix with dead skin cells, sweat, and environmental particles, especially if you wear glasses or hearing aids. And if that buildup is not cleaned regularly, it can create a musty, greasy scent that lingers around the collar, in the hairline, and even on your pillow. This is not about neglect. It is about awareness. Most people simply do not think to clean behind their ears because you do not see it, you rarely touch it, and nobody talks about it. But here is the good news. The fix takes less than a minute. When washing your face or showering, take just 30 seconds to gently clean behind each ear using warm water and a mild, non-drying soap. Focus on the crease where the ear meets the scalp. This is where oil and bacteria collect. After rinsing, dry the area completely. If you wear glasses or hearing aids, give that area extra attention daily. Frank followed this simple habit. Within days, the odd scent was gone. But something else changed too. His grandson no longer hesitated to hug him, and even his barber noticed. "You smell fresher these days," he said. "Cleaner, like yourself again." Because dignity lives in the details, and sometimes a moment of quiet care in an unseen place can make all the difference in how others experience being close to you and how you experience yourself. If you are still watching and finding this helpful, please comment the number 1 below. It lets me know you are here, paying attention, and ready to take your health seriously. After taking care of what hides behind the ears, it is time to move just a little higher to the scalp and hairline. These are areas most people think they are already cleaning. But the truth is, clean hair does not always mean a clean scalp. And that simple misunderstanding can lead to lingering odors that are hard to explain but easy to fix. James Holloway, 72, took pride in staying active. He walked every afternoon, wore a clean shirt each day, and stuck to the same grooming routine he had followed since his 40s. But last summer, something began to bother him. Even after a shower, he noticed a faint sour smell under his baseball cap. At first, he blamed the heat. Then he wondered if it was the shampoo. But the problem persisted, especially when he got close to others. It was not until his barber said something casually, "James, you might be cleaning your hair, but are you really washing your scalp?" that it finally clicked. Here is what most people do not realize. Clean hair does not always mean a clean scalp. As we age, our scalp becomes drier and less effective at shedding dead skin cells. At the same time, oils, sweat, and leftover product from shampoos or conditioners can build up, especially around the hairline, behind the ears, and at the nape of the neck. That buildup traps bacteria, which leads to odor, even if your hair looks freshly washed. This is especially common for people who use styling products like mousse, gel, or sprays. When these products are not fully rinsed out, they mix with sebum and create a sticky layer that holds onto scent. And here is the tricky part. You may not smell it, but others often do. The solution is simple, but it requires a shift in mindset. You are not just washing your hair. You are cleaning your scalp, the living skin beneath it. Use the pads of your fingers, not your nails, to gently massage your scalp in small circular motions while shampooing. Focus on the entire scalp, especially the crown, temples, and base of the neck. Let the shampoo sit for a full minute before rinsing to help break down oils and residue. And rinse thoroughly. Any leftover conditioner can trap odor-causing bacteria. If you use hair products regularly, consider using a gentle clarifying shampoo once a week, especially one designed for sensitive or aging skin. This helps remove buildup and restore freshness without irritation. James tried this new routine, and within a week, he noticed a difference. The sour smell vanished. But more importantly, he felt sharper, lighter, more himself. He wore his cap again with confidence, and when his granddaughter hugged him, he no longer held his breath. He noticed something else too. He felt more alert, more energized, as if the sourness that had once made him feel older was no longer part of him. James said it best. "It sounds silly, but when my head feels clean, I feel like I'm thinking clearer, standing straighter, just more alive." Because caring for your scalp is not about vanity. It is about vitality. And when you feel clean from the top down, it changes how you carry yourself in every part of life. From the top of your head to your scalp, every part of the body tells a story, and the next chapter often hides in the folds of your skin. These quiet spaces, under the breasts, around the waist, and between the thighs, may be invisible to others, but they can quickly become a source of odor, irritation, and discomfort if they are not cared for properly. Diane Carter, 75, had always been elegant, pearls, linen dresses, a touch of lavender perfume. She took pride in her appearance, but during one sticky summer, she noticed something she could not quite shake, a faint sour smell that returned by evening, no matter how clean she felt in the morning. She changed her detergent, switched perfumes, bought new bras. Nothing helped until a nurse at her wellness clinic asked a simple question. Do you wash and dry under your breasts every day? Diane paused. She had never thought to. What many people do not realize is that as we age, our skin softens, shifts, and forms natural folds, especially under the breasts, around the belly, and beneath the buttocks. These areas are warm, enclosed, and poorly ventilated. Sweat collects, skin rubs against skin, and over time, trapped moisture creates the perfect environment for bacteria, yeast, and odor to thrive. Left uncleaned and damp, these folds can lead to more than just a smell. They can cause rashes, fungal infections, and ongoing irritation, and many seniors suffer in silence, too embarrassed to ask or unaware that the problem even exists. But here is the truth. This is not about age. It is about airflow and awareness. Now let's move to a place most people think they've mastered, but where odor often lingers longer than we expect. The underarms. Evelyn Brooks, 70, was a retired teacher who prided herself on being well-groomed. She wore crisp blouses, light floral perfumes, and always carried hand sanitizer in her purse. Yet, by late afternoon, she noticed a musky scent under her arms, even after using deodorant in the morning. She tried switching brands. She washed more often, but nothing changed, until her daughter, a nurse, gently asked, "Mom, when was the last time you exfoliated your underarms?" Evelyn blinked. Exfoliated? My armpits? That moment sparked a new discovery. Here is what most people do not know. As we age, our skin slows down its natural shedding process. Dead skin cells accumulate. When sweat, especially the protein-rich kind produced by apocrine glands, mixes with those old cells, it creates a perfect environment for bacteria to thrive. And bacteria is what causes odor, not sweat itself. Washing alone is often not enough. That is why some people still smell even after they have showered. A clinical study from the University of California confirmed that sweat itself is odorless. It's the bacteria on our skin, especially Corynebacterium, that break down sweat and create body odor. And these bacteria tend to thrive more as we age. The problem is not the soap, it is what is left behind. The fix: gentle, regular exfoliation. You do not need anything harsh. A soft washcloth with warm water and a touch of baking soda, or a mild exfoliating cleanser designed for sensitive skin, can help remove buildup without irritating aging skin. Do this 2 to 3 times a week. The goal is not to scrub hard. It is to keep the skin fresh and able to breathe. Also, pay attention to your deodorant. Many older adults use the same brand they used 20 or 30 years ago, without realizing their skin and sweat chemistry have changed. Try switching to a fragrance-free, aluminum-free formula with ingredients like tea tree oil, witch hazel, or magnesium, which neutralize odor naturally. Finally, what you wear matters. Stick to breathable fabrics like cotton. Avoid tight, synthetic materials that trap heat and sweat. Once Diane made these changes, gentle exfoliation, a better deodorant, and lighter fabrics, she noticed a dramatic difference. The smell was gone. Her shirt stayed fresher. But more than that, she stopped feeling self-conscious. Because sometimes it is not about doing more. It is about doing what works for the body you have today, not the one you had decades ago. Confidence does not come from covering up. It comes from caring deeply for yourself, right where you are. The solution starts in the shower. Use a soft washcloth with mild, fragrance-free soap to gently clean under the breasts, along the waistline, and in any other areas where skin touches skin. After rinsing, take your time to pat these areas completely dry. Do not rush it. Do not skip it. Moisture left behind, even a little, can lead to odor by the end of the day. If you live in a humid climate or tend to sweat more, consider placing thin cotton pads or breathable liners. A study from the University of Michigan found that baking soda can neutralize up to 85% of odor-causing compounds on the skin, making it a simple and effective solution for moisture-prone areas. Dr. Eleanor Grant, a board-certified geriatrician, puts it this way: think of skin folds like the corners of your home, easy to overlook, but essential to clean. When they are dry and cared for, you feel fresher, lighter, and more in control. That was exactly Diane's experience. Once she added these steps to her routine, the odor faded. Her skin felt calmer. Her clothes felt better. But most importantly, her confidence came back. She stopped worrying about how she smelled. She hugged longer, sat closer, and smiled easier. For the first time in years, Diane said she felt light, as if a weight she didn't even realize she was carrying had been lifted. She no longer second-guessed herself in conversations, no longer hesitated when someone leaned in close. She felt like herself again, present, comfortable, and even a little younger. Because caring for these quiet, hidden spaces is not just hygiene, it is self-respect. After addressing the underarms, let us move to one of the smallest areas of the body, one that is almost always forgotten: the belly button. It may not sweat, it may not ache, but it can quietly hold on to odor in a way that surprises even the most hygiene-conscious adults. Robert Bob Jenkins, 77, was meticulous about his routine. He brushed his teeth 3 times a day. He kept his laundry neatly folded and wore pressed clothes. But still, something smelled off, and he could not figure out what. It followed him, faint but persistent. One morning, his wife gently asked, "Bob, when was the last time you cleaned your belly button?" He froze. It had never occurred to him. Here is what many people do not realize. The belly button is a warm, dark, slightly moist space. And like any enclosed area, it collects things: dead skin cells, sweat, lint, dust, even leftover soap that never gets rinsed out properly. Over time, that buildup ferments. And yes, it creates odor. In fact, researchers at North Carolina State University identified over 2,300 species of bacteria that can live inside the human navel. Many of them thrive in that unique environment and break down debris into smells that are often described as sour, musty, or damp. And because the belly button is such a small, private place, most people never think to clean it. Some assume water from the shower is enough. It is not. The fix is easy: but only if you remember to do it. Once or twice a week, gently clean your belly button using a soft washcloth, warm water, and a small amount of mild soap. If your navel is deeper, you can use a damp cotton swab to reach inside, carefully, never scrubbing or forcing. The goal is not to scrape. It is simply to remove what your body cannot shed on its own. After cleaning, make sure to dry the area completely. Trapped moisture can lead to bacterial growth and odor even after a wash. Bob followed this advice. The first time he cleaned his navel, he was shocked by what came out. Lint, grime, even a sticky paste he had never noticed before. But within days, the odor vanished. More than that, he felt like he had uncovered a part of himself he had long neglected. Something small, yes, but powerful. Because even the smallest places deserve attention. And when you care for your body fully, including the parts no one sees, you reclaim a sense of completeness that radiates into everything else. Once you begin noticing the power of small changes, like cleaning the belly button, you start to realize that even the most private areas deserve your attention. That brings us to one of the most sensitive, yet most overlooked zones when it comes to body odor: the groin and inner thighs. George McMillan, 78, is a retired firefighter from Sacramento. He still walks every morning and drives himself to the gym twice a week. He is proud, independent, and keeps a strict hygiene routine. But for months, something had been bothering him. By late afternoon, he noticed a musky, sour smell coming from his lower body. He changed his underwear, switched soaps, even tried cologne. Nothing worked. He finally mentioned it to his doctor, who gently asked, "Are you taking care of the skin between your legs, where your thighs meet your pelvis?" That one question opened his eyes. Here is the reality. The groin area contains a high concentration of apocrine sweat glands, the same type found in your underarms. These glands produce sweat that is thicker and richer in proteins. Exactly what odor-causing bacteria feed on. Add in friction from walking, tight clothing, trapped moisture, and aging skin, and you have a perfect storm for discomfort and odor. For many older adults, especially men, this becomes a persistent issue, one that few talk about, even with their doctors. But ignoring it only makes things worse. The solution starts in the shower. Use warm water and a gentle, fragrance-free soap to clean the area where your thighs meet your torso. Focus on any creases or folds. Be thorough, but gentle. This is delicate skin. Afterward, pat the area dry with a clean towel. Do not rub. Rubbing can irritate aging skin, especially if there is already chafing. And moisture left behind, especially in warm climates, can cause rashes, fungal infections, and of course, odor. If you sweat heavily or live in a humid environment, consider using a talc-free, fragrance-free powder designed to absorb moisture. Wearing breathable cotton underwear and avoiding tight synthetic fabrics can also make a huge difference. Dr. Nina Patel, a senior care physician, puts it clearly. The groin may be private, but it plays a very public role in how you move, how you feel, and how others experience being near you. Clean, dry skin in this area can change everything. That is exactly what George found. Just 2 weeks after making these changes, the odor was gone. But more importantly, he stopped feeling anxious about gym visits and family gatherings. He wore lighter clothes. He moved with ease, and he felt proud of how he was caring for himself. George even mentioned that something as simple as feeling fresh down there made him more open with people. He laughed more, stayed longer at social events, and no longer worried that others might be noticing something he couldn't smell himself. Because sometimes the strongest act of self-respect is caring for the places no one else sees. But that deeply affects how you live every single day. We have just walked through 7 quiet corners of the body, places that are rarely discussed, often forgotten, but deeply important. From the soles of your feet to the folds of your skin, from behind your ears to the center of your body, these areas may not seem like much, but they shape how you move through the world, how others feel when they sit close, and most importantly, how you feel about yourself. This is not about embarrassment. It is not about being younger. It is about paying attention, because your body has carried you through a lifetime, and it deserves care in every inch. Odor does not mean you are dirty, and aging does not mean you have to accept discomfort or distance from the people you love. Often, it just means no one ever told you where to look or how to adjust your routine as your body changes. But now you know. So here is what I encourage you to do. Choose one small habit to start today. Just one. Maybe it is cleaning behind your ears. Maybe it is drying between your toes. Maybe it is finally giving your belly button the attention it has waited decades for. If this message is resonating with you, if you are still here and feeling more aware, comment the number 1 below. It tells me this conversation matters and helps me keep bringing you honest, practical advice. Do it not out of fear, but out of respect, out of self-worth. Because every time you take care of your body, you are telling yourself, I still matter. If this video helped you feel more confident, more seen, or more understood, let me know in the comments below. I read them, I value them, and they help me keep this channel honest and useful. And if you know someone, a friend, a partner, a caregiver, who might benefit from this message, share this video with them. Sometimes, a small nudge can change someone's comfort more than we ever realize. This is advice for older people, and I am here to talk about what matters. Not with shame, not with sugarcoating, just with the truth, and a little wisdom hard-earned over time. Thank you for being here. Take care of your body. Take care of your dignity, and take care of each other.